The night the desert split open, it didn't do so with fire or thunder. It came with a sound like the earth taking its first painful breath in centuries. Cole Rayner felt that vibration beneath his boots, standing alone beside his dying campfire. He knew then that the frontier had finally decided to answer all the prayers and nightmares men had buried beneath its sand. Moments later, just beyond the ridge, the ground cracked open. A pale, cold light poured out like moonlight bleeding from a wound. It was silent, unnatural, and alive. Cole Gunslinger, tracker, survivor of too many buried towns, did what he had always done when the world stopped making sense. He reached for his rifle and walked straight. Telawari. He was unaware that the unseen enemy watching him had already learned his footsteps, his fear, and the rhythm of his heart. As he approached, Tawindiade, the stars above trembled, as if afraid to look down. From inside the wound in the earth came a sound that was not quite a voice, but not quite silence either. It was a low whisper that slid into his thoughts, calling his name the way only the dead should know it. And that was when Cole realized the thing waiting below wasn't new to the desert. It was older than bones, older than memory. The sand along the opening began to flow inward, like a river pulled by gravity's reverse. Suddenly, shadows moved inside the light tull. Stretched, wrong. Their shapes bent in ways no human body could. Cole fired without thinking, the echo cracking across the dunes, but the bullet vanished into the glow, as if swallowed by another world. Then the whisper grew louder, multiplied, wrapping around his skull. It showed him visions he never spoke of. His brother, buried in a shallow grave after a botched robbery. The woman he left behind with nothing but a promise and a scar. The towns he failed to save. Each memory hit him like a hammer made of regret, weakening his stance, drawing him closer to the edge. Behind him, the desert answered with thunder. Black clouds rolled in without warning, and rain struck the sand in violent needles. Steam rose as water met a heat that had no natural source. Out of the storm, silhouettes emerged at the edge of the light. They were not men, not beasts, but echoes wearing the shape of both, their eyes glowing with the same pale fire. Cole backed away, but the ground shifted, pulling him forward inch by inch. The desert itself had chosen a side. He understood the truth buried beneath every frontier legend. Some wars were never meant to be won, only delayed. The unseen enemy spoke again, this time not in words, but in a feeling, a suffocating certainty. This split wasn't an attack, but an awakening. The desert had merely opened one eye, and men were too loud for it to sleep any longer. Lightning tore the sky apart, revealing the shapes within the light descents of Tem, standing in impossible stillness, waiting for a command only fear could give. Cole, soaked in rain and sand, realized the rifle in his hands was just a memory of power, not the thing itself. With one final breath, he stepped forward, not in defiance, not in courage, but in understanding. He slammed his boot into the softest edge of the opening where sand met light. The unstable rim collapsed inward. The earth screamed as thousands of tons of desert fell into the wound, smothering the glow. The howls of the unseen enemy twisted into sound for the first and last time, a voice that had never known language. When the desert settled, the storm faded just as suddenly as it had arrived. The clouds pulled apart to reveal silent stars once more. Where the split had been, there was only smooth, untouched sand, as if nothing had ever happened. Cole fell to his knees, shaking, his hands empty. He was heavy with the knowledge that not all doors stay shut forever. As dawn crept across the horizon with innocent gold light, he rose and walked away without looking back. He knew the desert would remember him, and someday, when the world grew too loud again, it might split open once more. But next time there might be no one left willing to step forward into the light.